point where I literally felt so faint that we had to call an IV nurse to the house because I was like, I might need to go to the hospital. Hey y'all, how's it going? First off, please don't mind this wrinkled old shirt. I just threw it on. I finally have like a little break today between having both the babies by myself. Mark is actually traveling to go grab our oldest daughter. He flew to New York to go pick her up, bring her back to Texas. So he's been gone since like 3 o'clock this morning. And so I've been on baby duty ever since. And I just took a shower finally at almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon because they are both napping. So I wanted to take advantage of this time and like give y'all a little checkup because I literally haven't done a pregnancy checkup in weeks at this point. But I wanted to just give y'all an update on how everything is going. So I am currently 22 weeks, which is about 5 months pregnant. I am cruising, y'all. I am cruising through the second trimester. This is, I feel like I've said this in other videos, but this has been my smoothest pregnancy so far. I literally, for the first time in my pregnancy experiences, I do not have heartburn, which I'm just like flabbergasted by because I never would have thought that I wasn't gonna have heartburn. And if you have ever had heartburn during pregnancy, you know the uncomfort that it comes with, okay? I'm not talking about, here and there I got heartburn. No, it's like every time I eat something, it is like, I feel it. It's like indigestion, it's burning, it's anytime I eat anything acidic. But now, like, I'm not experiencing any of that. And so that's been such a blessing and I'm so grateful, as well as not having any back pain, any hip pain. Like, I don't know if it's like the new, prenatal that I'm taking this time, or if it's just a combination of like just being healthier now versus what I last time, and just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but there's a few things that I've done differently in this pregnancy that I can name. So I will say those things quickly because I feel like if I haven't done, I think by the time y'all see this, I may have already done kind of like a pregnancy comparison video. But in case I haven't, I'll put this in here just quickly. But, and if I haven't posted yet, if you want more in-depth explanations and stuff, just like shoot me a comment down below and let me know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and just like keep up with me on socials and things like that. Everything is Jade Godbolt. So you can find me literally on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all the things. So I would say the major things that are different for me in this pregnancy are I switched my prenatal. So for my first 2 pregnancies, I took the Ritual prenatal vitamin. And I would say I'm relatively healthy. I would also say that I do not work out, okay? I'm not active like that. I am pretty much at home working, as in on a computer or on my phone, or, running after the kids. Like, I'm not super active like that. At least now. After I had my first daughter, Sarai, I was active before getting pregnant again. But I wasn't eating as well. And so, it's not just about like losing weight when it comes to being active and being healthy. It's a matter of like getting the right nutrients in your body. So I was definitely losing weight and things like that after I had my first baby. But by the time I got pregnant the second time, I just felt, now looking back, like very nutritionally depleted. And that wasn't just because of my prenatal, but also this, the next thing was, my appetite. I had no appetite with my second pregnancy. Like, it was hard for me to eat anything on top of being incredibly uncomfortable, with the heartburn and just not having an appetite. I had nausea really bad, and morning sickness and car sickness and all that with my second pregnancy. So it just was like all the elements that made you not want to eat anything, which over time really took a toll. On top of that, I was going through a birth center for that pregnancy, and I was on a lot of supplements, but with being on a lot of supplements, I wasn't taking all of them. So literally I was overwhelmed so much with all the supplements that they told me to take that I was like only taking certain days. Okay. So that did not help. All right. But I recognized that, you know, after the fact that did contribute to some of the roughness. And honestly, I believe why I ended up having really bad postpartum depression, amongst other things, just going through a lot in that year that I was pregnant with my son Micah. And so outside of just the emotional and spiritual things, physically, I wasn't getting a lot in me through that whole pregnancy. I was trying, but I just like it wasn't computing. So, but this time with this pregnancy, like I've had a full appetite. I've been eating well and really just been enjoying food and not overindulging at all, because I'm also very keenly aware of like, these pounds will stay on me if I do not, you know, manage it throughout the time. So I think in some ways I'm a lot more balanced in when I do decide to indulge and when I want to stick to like a solid, healthy diet. And just in general, over the years, I've just gotten more and more healthy with just the foods that I eat on a regular basis from the experiences of being pregnant and having gestational diabetes with my first pregnancy, and just being mindful of sugar. And like at this point, I've really cut out a lot of just nutritionally absent foods as much as possible. Now, granted, I still eat my hot Cheetos and I still eat cake and cookies and all these things, but I'm very much so mindful with my food now. So I definitely believe that that's contributed to me just feeling better, as well as I did a lot of chiropractic work with my second pregnancy. So from 18 weeks until my son was born, I was getting adjusted pretty much every week, because with my first pregnancy, I had back and hip pain about 6 months to the end of my pregnancy. But when I was pregnant with Micah, my second, the pain was so bad, like super early on, like at like 18 weeks, which is why I ended up working with a chiropractor who was also at my birth center. So it was super convenient to have my birth center appointments at the same time as or right before, or right after my chiropractic appointments. But even with my chiropractor, I was going to the chiropractor every week for a long time. And so that also I think has helped me with this pregnancy, because a lot of the kinks and just like long-term back issues and spinal issues that I had my whole life, and like especially in, you know, in my last pregnancies, got fixed. So this time I don't even feel the need to get seen by my chiropractor, because like I feel great. And so that's been a major key as well, is that I know that the chiropractic work really did what it was supposed to do, and was worth the money and everything, because this time I've literally had no back pain, no hip pain. If anything, I think I've had a little bit of Braxton Hicks contractions here and there, and I can feel those in my back sometimes, but nothing intense, nothing like too extra. And so, yeah, I've just been feeling physically really well. I've also been drinking a ton of chlorophyll water daily. I've shared with this, you know, in past like checkup or check-in videos that I drink liquid chlorophyll in my water and things on a daily basis. And that's been, I think, also helpful, because it does a lot of things for your body, but especially like blood circulation. A lot of blood is going to my tummy, right? To like help the baby grow and, you know, fill the placenta and all those things. And so blood circulation is really important when you're pregnant. And so I've been drinking daily chlorophyll water. That's been helping me feel really good and energized and stuff. I've also this time cut down on my caffeine, and not to the perspective of like I don't drink coffee almost every day, but I actually changed the type of coffee that I drink. So I actually drink a specific brand called Four Sigmatic, and they have a dark roast lion's mane mushroom coffee. I'll put a picture here or I'll like link it down below, but it has a little less caffeine than average coffee, but also like lion's mane mushroom is really good for brain functionality and keeping you focused and alert without giving you the jitters. So I'm drinking that on a regular basis as well, which I think also helps because I tend to have I have to keep my anxiety at bay, and just like I get headaches a lot and things like that, but I haven't gotten headaches or anything lately at all really this pregnancy, which is wild because with my last pregnancy, y'all, I was having anxiety attacks like every week, something like that. Like I said, I was going through a lot personally, so it was a lot of stuff externally that was causing some real triggers, but also threw me into this position of growth and transformation. And so that was the next thing that I was going to talk about was, you know, with all of this physical aspects being said, with my last pregnancy, I dealt with postpartum depression, and it was really difficult because it was a lot of things clashing and kind of coming to a head at the same time for me. And I physically was so unwell because I was breastfeeding but not eating. My appetite never really came back, even after having Micah. But I was breastfeeding, and he's a big boy, so he was not skipping no meals. And so I got to a point where I literally felt so faint that we had to call an IV nurse to the house because I was like, I might need to go to the hospital. Like, if I don't like get something in me, like I feel like I'm going to like it was bad. So the IV nurse came, and the moment they started pumping me with like all the vitamins and stuff, I passed out because I was just like, I'm not scared of needles. Like I'm not scared of needles at all. I've gotten IVs before and things like that, but I think it was just like the shock of nutrients to my body that was just like, it took me out. So that was like a scary moment, but it definitely shook me in a sense that like, you know, I've got to really be more serious about my health. But also I had to start going to therapy because a lot of what was physically going on was also just spiritual and like mental health manifestations of just like stress and anxiety and just feeling very overwhelmed with just life and getting used to just being a wife, because I've only been a wife for 2 years now. So back then I had only been a wife for like a year. And then also just being a mom of little kids, like multiple. And then obviously I also have a bonus daughter who's older, but she doesn't live with us full time. So really this concept of like having two versus one was like a totally new dynamic for me. And I also was going through a major shift as a person and, you know, changing my entire platform over from lipstick and curls to Jade Godbolt. And, you know, it was just a lot at that time. I was dealing with a lot with just like my personal traumas from the past and really being like, okay, like if I don't heal from some things, I'm not going to be able to function. Like I'm not going to be able to be the type of mother, the type of wife, the type of person, the type of friend, the type of sister that I desire to be if I do not heal. So I started going to therapy weekly for months, and that really, really helped so much. Really dove into our faith. My husband and I, Mark, we just got really serious about it. And really that changed like so much for me. Like God really delivered me from a lot of stuff in that season. So now being pregnant, this time I can literally see the fruits of that labor of really getting in there and healing and doing the work that it takes to be who God is calling me to be, and not calling me to perfection, but simply calling me to what I am and who I am in His eyes, and not my own conception of who I want to be or anyone else's idea of who I am, and really getting grounded in that and finding peace and comfort in that. in a way that I never experienced in my life before. So now being pregnant, it's like I feel that physically in my body that I've been healed. And so this pregnancy has been blissful because I know that the work from a physical perspective, a mental, a spiritual perspective is paying off. And it's not to say, like I said, that I'm perfect or anything, but taking a very like God-led approach to this pregnancy has been a game changer. And oh man, it's been so good. It's just been so good. So I am trucking along. The baby is kicking for real now. I can literally see him kicking from like outside of my tummy now, which is wild because like I don't think I've saw the movement so drastically this early on with Micah or Sarai. So I'm just like, oh Lord, how big is this baby gonna be? Because if he got this much power right now, I don't even know what to expect. But yeah, it's a boy, by the way. I feel like I've expressed this in a previous video before y'all see this, but if y'all didn't know, we're having another boy. And so yeah, it's been good, and I've been feeling good and doing good. So I've been seeing my midwife regularly still. Love her. Tari is amazing. I'm super excited to just be having that experience, which is also different for this pregnancy, is that I'm doing my prenatal care at home with one midwife. And I'm blessed to be able to say that I have a Black midwife who really gets me. Like, that's my sis, y'all. Like, it's not even like it feels like I'm having medical care. I mean, it's not even medical care. It's literally like, I don't know, like it's different, y'all. Like I'm gonna have to do a whole thing about just like what this prenatal experience has been with my midwife. But like, y'all, like I never thought that my prenatal care could be this way. And so that's also helped with just like having such a smooth and graceful experience this time. And yeah, so that is my checkup for 22 weeks. If you have any questions or things that I can like answer, definitely put them in the comments below. I hope you guys are enjoying the Mama Jade content so far. I've been really enjoying making it for you and really being able to share this journey and this part of my life in this way. And so yeah, I hope you found it helpful and just something to give you like maybe a different perspective than what you see or what you've experienced, but also like gives you hope and inspires you that to say like, you have a lot more control over your pregnancy experience than maybe you thought before. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and I will talk to y'all later.